Welcome to my channel. Today I want to introduce my channel and the general run of the content, and it will entail the stories of growing up in the FLDS or Fundamentalist Latter-day Saint group, a close and inside perspective of what I experienced, many close personal ones as well as some that are better known, public. I am Mark, and I was born and raised in the Salt Lake Valley. I lived my earliest years there. When I was 2 years old, I moved from there to Short Creek, better known as Hilldale, Utah, and Colorado City, Arizona. I had many happy experiences growing up there. The prophet at the time was Rulon Jeffs. He had Parley Harker and Fred Jessup as his counselors. Under their leadership, we did really well in the community. It grew, it thrived, and we were just a really happy church and family kind of community. Following the passing of Parley Harker, Rulon Jeffs installed his son Warren as the first counselor. It went on in their leadership, pretty normal, until later in 1998 when Rulon Jeffs had a stroke. It rendered him incapacitated, and since his condition turned quite secret following that, many people didn't know just how incapacitated he was or how unaware he was of many of the goings-on. We just accepted the idea that was fed to us that he would be renewed and strengthened, and so we didn't doubt any of the things that were going on. More and more things were regulated in our lives. We had been told to come out of the public schools. Activities where boys and girls mingled were done away, and in a few small ways, many of the happy and fun activities and things that we held so much to in our lives were taken away or changed. Following the passing of Rulon Jeffs in 2002, his son Warren took all control. More and more things that we had loved as a church and as a community were done away. In August of 2003, both as a rebuke to the people for many accused sins and things they had done, as well as a flight from his legal issues that were mounting, he shut down most all church functions, all except the Saturday work meetings, and so all the other ordinances were shut down. He went on the run and had turned quite mysterious. Over the next couple years, his legal issues boiled more and more, even to the state of Utah seizing control of the UEP Trust, which had the homes and so much of the property in it. The pressure continued as he continued to evade the law, and in May of 2006, he was put on the FBI's 10 Most Wanted. Our community had turned from a happy social community to a closed-up thing where we wouldn't talk to anybody, didn't trust anybody, and just turned to a secretive and mysterious kind of life. He was captured in August of 2006, bringing a great state of shock and confusion to the people. We had felt so sure that God would protect him, that he would be blessed in going to build up Zion as we understood it, and we all yearned and prayed to be worthy to go with him and be called to Zion, like so many people that we knew were all around us. But this brought an end to most of that, and we hardly knew what to do. A few leaders that were acting under him held things together in a small way, often bringing messages from the prison, and he being allowed a lot of phone privileges. And things went on in a semi-functional way for a while. Around the end of 2008 and into 2009, a lot of church functions picked up, and things seemed to be going pretty good, and that went so until around the end of 2010, when Utah and Arizona dropped the charges against him, and he was extradited to Texas to face greater charges. Following the extradition to Texas, things began to go really crazy. More and more requirements were heaped up, and he had the United Order established among the people, and that is something similar to what was revealed to the prophet Joseph Smith in the 1830s. He added his own requirements and twists to that, making it pretty near impossible to comply with everything, but we all wanted to be faithful and loyal and tried to do everything that was required so that we could be accepted or saved. And a lot of the things were fulfilled very, very much out of fear of being destroyed or being, not complying. along with the requirements that were going on, my father wasn't taking many of them very well. It had been really difficult. It was for the children who were living in the families. It was for parents and adults. And soon the matter came to a head, and my parents separated around the end of 2011. Things went on for a couple years after that, with child custody, visitation, and other legal battles, and it was almost 2 years after that my father passed away. My mother, then being a single mother from that and having all these young children to raise, I devoted my efforts and tried to shift my work and everything so I could be more of a support during the perilous time for them. I would have to forego many career and educational opportunities, not having the best jobs, and just trying to work close to home and hold things together. Later on, the bishop, or presiding elder as he was often called, had designated caretakers for most of the community. Our family was put in the care of our uncle, and through it we had a little more connection to the bishop and the prophet, and in hindsight I just want to call it a more intense brainwashing, and we got a real taste of what the prophet was putting and teaching to his closest followers, just a deeper and deeper indoctrination, really. Later, as the bishop was put under arrest with other men, most of the church functions just went out, and even the caretaker we had backed out, saying that with no functioning bishopric he couldn't really act as caretaker. I think he made the wise choice in backing out, but it left most of us to ourselves to just do whatever we could, legally and otherwise. When I saw that there was no more church functions, I had felt very lost. I had become very depressed, a problem I had had for quite some time, and I had a lot of struggle and trouble in my life when seeing the church and the thing I had put my whole life into, even got into debt for and sacrificed so much for, to see it just gone. I had felt very depressed and wondered what to do. I've pulled through with much help and resources, and now want to share my stories of growing up in that group, the happiness and sorrow, the ups and downs, and all the crazy things that come in being in a family and a group like that. So I invite you to like and subscribe. If there are questions of any of my stories or stories you want me to tell, I welcome that in the comments. So thank you for your support.